Hello everybody, last time I made a video explaining the various religious references from the Binding of Isaac. Today I would like to do something similar and explain various gaming references related to different bosses, items and characters. Starting with the very first one present virtually everywhere, The Legend of Zelda. The Binding of Isaac can be described as a Zelda-inspired roguelite. While the top-down gameplay is fairly similar, the UI is in fact almost practically the same, with red heart containers used to indicate hit points, down to the same resources being used, consisting of coins, keys and bombs. The Flash version of the Binding of Isaac's UI, in fact, looks almost like a one-to-one copy to the one used in The Legend of Zelda. The Challenge 39, Isaac's Awakening, with Isaac starting with the Spirit Sword, the Trinity Shield and Mom's Bracelet, granting the Spirit Sword as an unlock for completing the challenge, is a reference to The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. The I Am Error Room is a reference to an NPC from Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, with the keeper in the room even resembling the NPC in question with its clothing and facial hair. Mom's Hand and Mom's Dead Hand reference the Wall Masters, recurring enemies in The Legend of Zelda who function quite similarly to Mom's Hand. They will appear suddenly, attempting to grab Link. If Link is grabbed by a Wall Master, it will result in Link being sent back to the entrance of the dungeon. Yo, listen is a reference to The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, with the item's name referencing the catchphrase, hey, listen. There are also two co-op babies resembling Link, namely the Elf Baby and the Dark Elf Baby. Camillo Jr., the tumor enemy found in Sheol and the Dark Room, references Krako Jr. from the Kirby games. Continuing on the Nintendo-themed references, 1-Up, Magic Mushroom, Minimush and Mega Mush reference various power-ups from the Mario series. The Liberty Caps text, Touch Fuzzy, Get Dizzy, is a reference to the 7th level in World 1 from the game Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. The How to Jump book's cover features Mario, quite fitting with the book's activated ability. The Gnawed Leaf, an item highly favored by the most skilled Lost players who would rather stand still in a boss room for 20 minutes rather than playing the game only to post their achievement on Reddit afterwards, references the Super Leaf power-up from Super Mario Bros. 3, even featuring the raccoon tail. The Bobby Bomb is a reference to the Bob-Omb enemies from Mario. There is also a variety of co-op babies resembling various characters from the Mario series, such as, but not limited to, the Red Plumber Baby, Green Plumber Baby, Yellow Plumber Baby, Purple Plumber Baby, Cannonball Baby, Turtle Dragon Baby and Pink Princess Baby. This is also the last time I'll mention the co-op babies as gaming references, as there is a lot of them, with many referencing various video games like the Arcade Baby and the Ghost Babies or the Funny Baby, resembling the skeleton. The Game Kid resembles an old model of a Nintendo Game Boy, and its effect is a reference to Pac-Man, just like the Power Pill. The Friendly Ball is a reference to a Pokemon Ball, while the Pokegoat references Pokemon Go. The M Trinket and the Missing No item, along with the TM Trainer, all reference a glitch from Pokemon Red and Blue. The Notched Axe and the Minecrafter are references to the Minecraft game, with the name of the Notched Axe referencing the game's creator and former owner Marcus Persson, known in the community as Notch. The text displayed by the Whore of Babylon item and the Empress Tarot card, "What a horrible night to have a curse," is a quote from Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest, with the text being displayed in-game to announce a day-to-night cycle. Similarly to that, the reverse Empress Tarot card displays a message, "The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night," which is also a quote from the game. The Mask of Infamy is a reference to Carmilla, still from Castlevania. The Host enemies and the Host hat is a reference to the Flash game Host on Newgrounds, whose art was drawn by Edmund. Unfortunately, the game cannot be played nowadays as it was a multiplayer game and the servers are now dead. The Binding of Isaac also features a variety of references to the Super Meat Boy video game, such as the Ball of Bandages for Bandage Girl, the Cube of Meat for Super Meat Boy, Dr. Fetus, Epic Fetus, Lil Chad, and Chad, the SMB Superfan, which stands for Super Meat Boy Superfan, giving Isaac an appearance similar to Super Meat Boy, with Brownie and Lil Horn also referencing two bosses from the game. There are also additional references to other games made by Edmund: the Clot Enemy, the Gish boss, the Ball of Tar, and Lil Gish, along with the Sister Vis boss, are all characters from the Gish video game, a 2D platformer game where the player controls a ball of tar. The Steven boss and the Steven item, along with Lil Steven, are a reference to the video game Time Fisok. a game involving the protagonist being forced into a box by what appears to be himself from the future. Something referenced in the Steven Unlock, Something from the Future. The Triachnid boss fight is a reference to the character from the Triachnid game, where you control a three-legged spider across a multitude of levels. The Lil Spewer item is a reference to Spewer, a puzzle platformer that uses liquid physics through regurgitation, similarly to how Lil Spewer attacks by vomiting on the ground. The Finger item is the mouse cursor from the game Fingered, another one of Edmund's games. Speaking of fingers, you can make use of your finger to like this video and maybe subscribe to the channel, if you've enjoyed this video so far. But now, enough with the shameless self-promotion and let's get back to the video. The Doppel enemy is a reference to an enemy from Tomb Raider who behaves similarly, the Doppelganger, who mimics the player's movements. Attacking the Doppelganger in-game will result in Lara damaging herself, similarly to how attacking the Doppel in Isaac will result in the Doppel also attacking Isaac. The Humbling Bundle is a reference to the site Humble Bundle, a site where you can purchase bundles of video games, while the Steam sale and its effect of reducing store prices by 50% are a reference to the quite popular Steam sales taking place practically all the time. The Ventricle Razor active item is a reference to the Portal games, as the portals created by the Ventricle Razor allow a two-way travel between them and also have the same color. The Wrath miniboss and the arena where the fight usually takes place in references the video game Bomberman. Bomberman is also referenced by the item Bomber Boy. The GB bug probably stands for Game Boy bug. The analog stick is a reference to various console controllers. The broken modem and its effect of seemingly lagging the game by causing enemies to stop in place, projectiles disappearing and items duplicating references the idea of playing an online game with a bad connection, where similar problems might occur. There are also a variety of references to tabletop and card games, starting with Dungeons & Dragons. The D4, D6, D8, D10, D12 and D20 are the various dice types used in Dungeons & Dragons. The Monster Manual book is a reference to the Monster Manual used in Dungeons & Dragons, bearing the same cover, just pixelized down a lot. In Dungeons & Dragons, the Monster Manual is a book featuring a variety of monsters and their stats for dungeon masters to use as a reference point for their games. The Get Out of Jail for Free card is a reference to the tabletop game of Monopoly. There are also a variety of items referencing various cards from Magic the Gathering. Starting with the actual cards, the first one is the Chaos card, which allows you to instantly kill any enemy touched by it. This references the Chaos Orb card, which funnily enough functions quite similarly. By flipping this card onto the playing area from a height of at least 1 foot, if the card turns completely over at least once, it will destroy any card it lands on, including itself. There is a legend circulating in the community of Magic the Gathering regarding this card. While I haven't been able to find any article or video confirming this actually happening, it is rumored that a player has managed to win a tournament of Magic the Gathering by ripping a Chaos card to shreds in a bunch of confetti and sprinkling it over the enemy's board. By doing so, he argued that the card had, according to the rules, touched and thus destroyed every card on the enemy's board, a reasoning accepted by the judges, awarding a victory to the player in question. Again, whether this has actually happened or not is unconfirmed, and to date the Chaos Orb card is banned to be used in tournaments, not because of the card being too overpowered, rather because the judges didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of having to decide whether someone had actually managed to correctly flip the card in the correct manner or whether the orb had actually touched the card or not, as this will require constant supervising, something not exactly feasible in a large tournament with hundreds of players playing at the same time to advance in brackets. The Huge Growth card is a reference to the Giant Growth card, which grants a similar effect by temporarily increasing the size and stats of a creature for 1 turn. The Ancient Recall card is a reference to the Ancestral Recall. Similarly to the effect in Isaac, which spawns 3 random cards, the one in Magic the Gathering allows the player to draw 3 cards. The Era Walk card references the Time Walk card, allowing the caster to take an extra turn. If you know anything about card games in general, you can probably tell this is an extremely powerful effect, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that this card is in fact mostly banned. Seriously, what were they thinking with this one? The Black Lotus item is a reference to the Black Lotus card from Magic. Its effect of adding 3 mana of any single color of the player's choice mana pool is mirrored in-game by adding to the player's health pool 3 different hearts of different color. Fun fact, known to most Magic the Gathering players, the Black Lotus is also one of the most sought after cards by collectors, with a copy of it being sold for $3 million in a private sale in 2023. If you have any old Magic the Gathering cards laying around somewhere in your house, it might be a good time to check whether you have one of those or not. And by watching this part of the video, you agree to split the earnings with me from this card sale 50-50. Call it a finder's fee. The contract from below item references another Magic the Gathering card with the same namesake. Spirit of the Night also references another card with the same name, and so does Lord of the Pit. It's worthy to note that both Spirit of the Night and Lord of the Pit have the flying ability, similarly to what Isaac will gain upon picking these items up. You can also notice a few similarities between the card's art and the aspect Isaac gains when picking the item. Speaking of card games, a Card Against Humanity is a reference to, surprise surprise, a card game called Cards Against Humanity, a party game for horrible people. The Berserk activated item references a power-up from Doom, allowing you to enter a Berserk state to kill enemies in one hit by punching them. The Special Sid, Super Hot, will cause the game to change drastically by including a new mechanic. While Isaac is not moving, time will run extremely slowly. This is a reference to the 2016 first-person shooter called Super Hot, which functions on a similar mechanic, causing the passage of time to slow down drastically while the player isn't moving. The Mode 7 Special Seed will grant a permanent retrovision effect for the run. Mode 7 is a graphics mode on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System console that often results in pronounced pixelation. So, what do you think? Did you know about these references? Have I missed or misinterpreted any of them? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate me to make more videos in the future. As always, I would like to thank this channel's members for supporting me. If you would like to join, you can do so by clicking the join button down below. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I'd like to also wish you a good night. See you on the next one, and bye bye.